Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce a new segment we're going to be rolling out for football season, bringing in the pride of Central High School, the pride of Temple University, 94.1 radio host and journalist, the man that knows more about the Eagles than anybody, in my opinion, the one, the only, Eliot Shorr-Parks. And we're going to be doing a segment every week called Bet the Birds. Eliot, how the hell are you?
Well, first of all, thank you for that introduction. The Central High School 265. You know, I appreciate that. And you clearly don't read my Twitter mentions if you think I know the most about the Eagles, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And I'm super excited to be doing it with you guys this season. Parks is my favorite app to use. Obviously, it's a big part of the Go Birds family. So pumped to talk about the Eagles all year and hopefully pick a lot of Eagles money lines, I guess.
Yeah, let's make the people a lot of money. That's what we're here to do. And Eliot, the expectations could not be any higher for this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. I got to ask you first, what should we expect week 1 in Foxborough versus the Bill Belichick-led Patriots for the Philadelphia Eagles? What should we expect?
Well, I think it's a tough matchup for the Eagles on the schedule. I think if you played the Patriots later on in the year, this is a game you might see the Eagles getting 6.5, 7 points. But I think week 1, Tom Brady night, it looks like rain is in the forecast. That's why you see the line a little bit shorter than I think it probably would be in most weeks. Now, that being said, the Eagles are used to being favorites. With Jalen and Sirianni, they've been favorites, I think, in every game last year, or maybe 1 or 2 they were not. And one thing they do when they're favorites under Jalen and Nick is they win. Since they lost that game against the Raiders their rookie year together, in 81% of their games, they have been up at least 10-plus points. The Eagles win games, and they jump all over people. So when I look at this Patriots matchup, I say, A, there's a good chance Eagles are going to build a lead. It's something they're good at, which is going to force the Patriots into throwing the ball. What are the Patriots bad at? Throwing the ball. They have a bad quarterback, they have bad receivers, and they have a bad offensive line. So if the Eagles can get a lead in this game, which they do traditionally, I think that the 4 points they're currently getting right now, they should be able to cover that. I think they win the game. And if I had to bet the Birds, I would take the Eagles with the points.
Let's lay the 4 points. Let's go Birds. I really like the Birds this weekend myself. I got to ask you a couple other prop bets here, some team specials. We like the Eagles to win. We like the Eagles to build off of a lead early. Eagles to score first and win the game is currently plus 145. You think the Eagles come out, fire in, score on the first drive, and win the ball game? That's a pretty nice bet.
So that's one of my favorite bets I saw actually when I was looking through some of the specials you guys had going, because last year we saw with the Eagles, they do jump all over people. And I do think that their coaching staff will have something ready for the Patriots defense. They've had all offseason to prepare for this game. So to get the Eagles at plus money to win the game, and all they have to do is score first, yeah, I do think that is a good bet. Jalen Hurts has shown he's a quick starter to games. Now, the rain could make it where maybe each teams are a little slow to start. The Eagles have shown they are a great second quarter team as well. In fact, last year in the second quarter is when they jumped all over teams. So Eagles to win at plus money, I think, is a good bet.
Hey, if you're looking at that one, you definitely got to look for the Eagles to win both halves at plus 235. This would be an absolute domination bet for the Eagles to own the Patriots in both halves of football. I really like that one, too, at plus 235. Can the Eagles win both halves of football against Bill Belichick and the Patriots?
My only worry about that would be that I think if the Eagles get a lead early on, and now I think the Patriots are a bad throwing team, like I said, but if the Eagles go up 14 points, 17 points in the first half, which, look, I think it's a tough matchup, but they are certainly a way better team. So if they go up big, I could see a world where maybe the Patriots get the better of them in the second half. For me, I think the first half is really where the Eagles will build that lead. So if you're looking to bet a half, maybe the Eagles to win the first half, I think would probably be a better bet than them winning both halves.
Under 20.5 points from the Patriots. You know, this Eagles defense are going to be running around like a bunch of rabid dogs on Mac Jones. Will they keep the Patriots below 20.5 points on Sunday?
Well, they better. I mean, this defense should be good enough to do it. Mac Jones is not a good quarterback. The Patriots last year scored over 30 points only one time. They got over 26 points only 3 times. They are not a team that puts points on the board. The Eagles defense, I know they have a new coordinator, but we saw last year, they do hold teams into the teens. They get a pass rush going. They make it really hard on quarterbacks that aren't elite quarterbacks. So when I look at that number, yes, I think they should hold them under that. And again, I think the rain is going to be a part of this. The rain is going to force the Patriots, already poor skill position players, into more of a disadvantage against the Eagles' better defense. So, yeah, I think that I would take the under on those points for the Patriots.
Well, I got a couple more for you here. This one's near and dear to my heart. You know, St. Joe's prep guy over here. DeAndre Swift in his first game as a Philadelphia Eagle to score a touchdown at any time during the game is at plus 200. Are we going to look to see DeAndre Swift score a touchdown this Sunday against the Patriots?
How the Eagles are going to use their running backs, I think, is one of the most interesting questions heading into this game. I was there every day at training camp, and Kenny Gainwell had the most touches by far of any first-team running back, and I didn't notice them using Swift in the red zone a ton. I think Swift is going to be, in a sense, their third down back where they have to throw the ball, but when they're inside the 5, I think there's a lot of factors preventing Swift from scoring. One, Jalen is going to run the ball quite a bit. He ran it a ton in training camp. 2, I think they're going to try to get Goddard the ball more in the red zone. Goddard, really kind of the only of the big 3 weapons that hasn't had his huge breakout year. I think they're going to try to get Goddard more involved. But then you do have Boston Scott, Rashad Penny. I think that they're going to try to get them the ball inside the 5, which is why I actually like Kenny Gainwell plus 1,700 for the first touchdown. Because if they get down into that red zone, and Kenny Gainwell is going to be the #1 running back, he'll be on the field. And I think they're going to score first. So if you're looking for a running back prop, Swift is probably not where I would go. I like Gainwell plus 1,700 and then plus 340 for an anytime touchdown.
Wow. I really like that. You swayed me.
Side, man. I love the
You swayed me off my St. Joe's prep guy. I'm going Kenny Gainwell now, first touchdown. I really like
plus
that.
1,700. You can never say no to that.
Hey, you got to love those odds. Now, I got 2 more for you. You're talking a lot of smack on Mac Jones. Mac Jones is ass, right? We're going to say he's ass.
To quote right? LaShawn McCoy, I guess.
Yeah, we're quoting LaShawn McCoy here. Over 0.5 interceptions for Mac Jones. Will we see an interception from Mac Jones?
Yeah, I think we will. I think this Eagles defense last year, to start the year, they created a ton of turnovers. I know it cooled off a little bit as the year went on, but they're a team that's built to create turnovers. People don't like when the Eagles corners play off coverage, but the reason they do that is so they're backpedaling and they can see the ball in front of them. And with this pass rush and a really banged up bad Patriots offensive line, Mac Jones is going to make some rush decisions. So I like the over of 0.5. I also like the under of 222 passing yards for Mac Jones. If you look at last year, the Eagles allowed over 222 passing yards in just 3 of their 20 games. And Mac Jones certainly doesn't qualify as a quarterback that I think can light up a secondary that not many quarterbacks at all did last year. So I would take the over on interceptions and I would take the under on total passing yards.
ESP says fade Mac Jones. I love it. Let's fade Mac Jones this Sunday. And here's the last one for you. Jalen Hurts. Is Bill Belichick going to try to take away his ability to run? You're saying that he is going to be running wild from what I've heard. Over, under 42.5 rush yards for Jalen Hurts in week 1.
I think it's an absolute lock. I would be shocked if he got less than those yards. One thing I did notice in training camp this year, Hurts is running the ball more than he did last year. He's taking off more, not only in the red zone, but in open field drills as well. And when he's running, he looks in better shape and he looks faster than he did last year. Not that he looked slow last year, but he looks fast in the open field. So I think the over on that, I really like that bet. I also like over 282.5 total yards for him. I think that he's going to throw the ball a lot, or at least drop back, I should say. And as a result, I think he'll have a good day against the Patriots secondary, but that will give him a lot of opportunities to run as well if pressure does get there from what is a good Patriots pass rush. So yes, I like the over on runs and I like the over on total yards for Jalen.
Well, you heard it here from the expert himself, Eliot Shorr-Parks. We're going to lay the 4 points. We're going to take the Eagles. Eagles to score first and win the ball game. Under 20.5 points by the Patriots. We're going to take Mac Jones to throw an interception and over 42.5 yards at a Jalen Hurts rushing the ball. I like the locks this weekend, Eliot Shorr-Parks. We'll see you next week for the Bet the Birds week 2. And thanks for coming on.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.